Merry Christmas, guys. What's up, Sal? How's it going? Hey, Losh. I'm glad you could join. What is up, Sunny Side Up? Merry Christmas to you. Hey, Nikki. Good evening. How are you doing? All right. What did you guys do for Christmas? I had a little family get together. It was fun. Hold on, getting set up. It got so warm that all of the previous snow had melted. Cool. What's up, Side Duck? You accidentally watched a Demigods and Semi-Devils movie that released this year. Cool. How was it? Hey, Lady Koi. How you doing? What's up, Malik? Glad you could join. Duan Yu basically did not exist, and it felt like the plot was being sped run. Boo. You got a deer skull and fossilized wood. That's awesome. Where are you gonna put the deer skull? Are you gonna put it on your wall? Damn it. Okay. Join your collection. How big is your collection? We're starting Donnie Yen as Chow Feng. Oh, I know that one. Yeah, that was a movie, right? Yeah, I think I saw the trailer. Yeah, if it's a movie, you can't really put all of the plot of the series inside one movie. So I guess it's understandable that they had to take out some parts. Okay, so do I select the guy? Is he part of the bicycle, or do I not select him? Ah! All right. Okay. We have a couple of other skulls. A cow, a fox, 3 raccoons, and the entire skeleton of a brown bat. Jesus Christ. That's amazing. Speaking of raccoons. Um uh, hello. Yeah, speaking of raccoons, okay. The other day I heard I was minding my own business at home, okay? And I heard in the attic. Okay. And I was like, oh my god, what the hell? I thought the possum was back. Alright. And this time it's a different one. Because it's super aggressive. I like the previous one better. It was hella quiet. Right? Sometimes you hear a little like a scratching on something. Yeah. But this time it was like moving stuff around. It was like rearranging the furniture in the attic, throwing boxes around and stuff. It was so violent. Um, yeah. So I thought this time it's like a violent possum. But then I found out that I think one night I heard some rustling of leaves and some animals walking on the roof of my patio. Okay. YouTube didn't give me the live notification. Don't know why. Yeah. And yeah, there were a bunch of animals walking on my patio roof. I came out. It was at night. Okay. I came out with a flashlight. And there were 3 raccoons. 3 of them. 3 huge raccoons. And they were making their way to my attic. So I found out that I had a hole in my attic where the vent, there's a vent. Um, yeah, and the wire mesh for the vent is gone. So that's how they got through. It's amazing how these raccoons were big, okay? They're huge. I saw them, they're huge. I was like, ah, go away. I chased them away. But like, yeah, they just came back. They're huge. I don't know how they fit in the little vent. They're amazing. Yeah, so it wasn't possums. So apparently possums are they're not as bad as raccoons. So it makes sense that the raccoons are just so aggressive. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to fix it. And have to repair. They smush themselves easily? Yeah, they do. Yeah, so now I have to repair it. Hopefully, I chase out the raccoons before I repair it. Hopefully, I don't miss something. I just trapped one raccoon inside the attic. I don't know what I would do. I don't want to kill it. Can I trap it? Raccoons can go into my computer and change my settings. Oh, really? Is that what they can do? Alright. Oh. Wordle. Okay. Can we get it in 3 words? I think we did that. We're getting so good at this. Alright. Stomp. Come on, stomp. Okay. Not this time, boys and girls. Not on the 3rd word, I don't think. Don't think I can do it. Elope. No P. People. No P. L. Eco. Evolve. What about something OES? No S. Ebony. Ebony. Nope. Evo. Evolution. Evolution. Evoke. 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 Ah! Guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'll log in one day and my channel will have been changed to raccoon for me. Fucking raccoons. Alright. Alright, can we do this fast? Come on, guys. We can do it. Puzzle. Eat. Huh. Christmas. Is it Christmas themed? Samantha? Samantha? Santa. Cookies. Drink. Feast. Party. Family. Friends. Tree. Holiday. Devour. Hey. Swallow. Food. Flavor. Delicious. Fad. Skull. Devour. Tear. Hold on. Maybe like an attack, like a bear attack? Animal? Devour. Poop. Devil. Coal. It's slowly moving away from Christmas. Yeah. It's turning a little bit dark. Devour. Bear, cocaine bear. Raccoon. Nope. Trash. Tear, devour, eat. Titan. Titan. Wolf. Lick. Smell. Consume. Panda. Hungry. Starve. Starve. Thirst. 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 Thirsty. Homeless. Desert. Dessert. No. Dinner. Model. Anorexic. Starve. How about full? Starve. Starve. Poor. Gobble. Turkey. Menu. Famished. Famine. How about that? Oh, no. Starve. When do people starve? Steak. Crave. Soup. Seafood. Buffet. Starve. Devour. Sanctions. Oh, hey. Closer than I thought. Like UN sanctions? Starve. Jail. Feed. Diet. Bankruptcy. Animal, I think we tried that. Contract. Farm. Attrition. Starve, guys. Starve. Economy. Like an economic downturn? Like a recession? Inflation? No. I think it's something else. Starve. Genocide. What? Conflict. Kill. Killing. Shooting. It's unemployed. Unemployed. Nope. Deteriorate. Bank. Politics. Mafia. Starve. Genocide. Protest. Protest! Signs. Riot. Mob. Hippies. Demonstration. Boycott? Okay. Unrest. Protests. What about a revolution? A march. Execution. Protest is close. Ban. Revolt. Conditions. Protest. Boycott. Protest. Strike. Hunger. Disagreement. March, we try a coup. No, it's a protest. It's democracy. It's civil rights. Protest. Protest! Street. I did do famine. Revolution, try that. Like a sit-in? Sit-in? No. Riot, try that. Cancel. Oh. Shun? Whoa. Shun? Okay. Ostracize. Huh. Huh. Eject. Banish from the realm. Ostracize. Ignore. Ignore. Silent. Silence. Cast. Ostracize. Exile. Shut. Humiliate. What? Torture. Humiliate. Humiliation. Hmm. Shun and ostracize. Ignore. Protest. Spectacle. Ah. Protest. Ostracize. Attack. Bully. Alienate. Depression? No. Ignore. Protest. Ostracize. Hate. Hmm. Erase. Wipe. Shit. What is it? Insult. Jeer. Cheer. Deny. Deny. Murder. Denial. Forget. Race. Racist. Racism. What? Pariah. Bully. Try that. Reject. Oh my god. Oh. Rejection. Segregate. Refuse. Renege. Disown. Disown. Discriminate. Abort. Apartheid. Hmm. Renounce. Outcast. Disinherit. Divorce. Detest. What the heck? We tried hate. Hateful. Reject. Deny. Outlaw? Rejection. Disown. Evil. Remove. We tried disagree. Disagree. Debate. Disavow. Disavow! Like a renounce. Disavow. Fight. What is it? Disappoint? Absolutely. Repent. Oh. Spurn. Disavow. Okay, synonyms. Reject. Disapprove. Approve. Okay. Approve is higher than disapprove. Distance. Disavow. Reject. Change. Accept. Acceptance. You tried approve, right? Approve. Own. Embrace. It could be the opposite, yeah. Maybe it is the opposite. Completely. Avow. Nope. Eject. Nigh. Illegal. Oh shit, what is it? Vouch. Beloved. Reject, deny, disown, renounce, ostracize. Like love. Fully. Loving. Accepting. Agree. Okay, agree. Endorse. Maybe it is the opposite. Endorse. Endorsement. Repel. Prodigal. Attract. Denounce. Oh my god! Denounce. Wait. Denounced? Nounce. Announce? Wait. Denounce. Maybe it's a denouncement? The denounce. Sir? No. Pronounce? Wait, what is it? Defame. Ounce. Okay, stop with the ounces. It's not words that rhyme. Denounce. I denounce and reject. Oh my god. Distance. Denounce. What can it be? What can it be? Maybe renounced? Oof. Oof. Why? It's just one more word, guys. Only one more. And it should be very close to denounce. Straws. Pounce? Come on, it can't be pounce. Pounced. Denouncement. Denounce. Denouncatory. Denounces. Oh my god. It's so close. Denouncest. Denouncest. Denounceal. Denouncification. Denouncification. Oh my god. Denouncitarianism. What is it? Renounce. We tried it. Denounceable? Denounceable. That's not a word. Allow. Crime. Wrongdoing. I denounce this man. Renounce. We tried that. Renown. Renowned. Renounced. Nope. Oh my god. Condemn. Really? Good job, Psyduck. Good job. Huh. You got it. We would have been here forever. Why is denounce and denouncement? Why are they so close? Condemn. Good job. It was the first word in the definition. Gotcha. Condemn. Let's see the nearest words. Condemning. Condemned. Okay. I see. I see you. Criticize. Repudiate. That's a good word. Repudiate. Castigate. Delicious word. Decry. Deplore. Condemnation. Okay. It always seems so obvious afterwards. Yeah. All right. I have some food. It's called pure potato. Is it pure? I guess it is. Is it just potato? I have no idea. Let's open it. Okay. Ooh, it looks kind of like Lay's, but a little thicker. Yeah, it looks like a Lay's potato chips, but it's thicker. And I smell something. I smell garlic. Is it? Ooh, I love garlic. There's garlic and a bunch of other stuff. Huh. Pretty salty. How many ounces is in the bag? I denounce this bag. I condemn it. Tastes pretty good. Yeah, not bad. This is like a 7.5, I think. Maybe a 7.6. I like the garlicky taste. I announced that this bag has been denounced. Exile the bag to the trash can. I exile the potato chips into my stomach. All right. you guys. Let's get started. So, what the heck happened last week? Last week, our hero Di-yun, okay, and our love interest Shui Sheng is staying inside the cave. Hua Ti again, he returns. He's wearing the outfits of two of his dead sworn brothers. He's a terrible guy. He had eaten their corpses to survive the winter. All right, and Hua Ti again wants to eat these two also. Okay, he figures that if he eats these two, then he would survive the winter. Plus eating the corpse of Shui Dai also. So he fights with Di-yun. He defeats Di-yun, but he can't kill him. Okay, because every time he tries to um, stab and slash at Di-yun, he couldn't. Okay, because Di-yun is wearing the dark silk warm vest that protects him. So Di-yun runs into the cave and he seals it. Hua Ti again, he's a kind of a fearful guy. He's convinced that some ghost is helping Di-yun since he can't like pierce the kid's body. So inside the cave, Di-yun practices the Blood Saber Sutra. And because he had already practiced the heavenly glow techniques, he learns the Blood Saber Sutra super fast. And he runs out of the cave like he just came out of the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z, and he kicks Hua Ti against his ass. The man runs away. So afterwards, Di-yun and Shui Sheng, they live in the cave for the rest of the winter. Shui Sheng, she no longer distrusts Di-yun. She realizes that he never meant her harm. But Di-yun is still angry that she thought that he was this perverted monk, and she was scared of him, and he wouldn't talk to her. So anyways, they lived like that for a while. One day, after the winter has passed, Hua Ti again returns with like 50 other people. And the group, they want to save Shui Sheng and kill Di-yun because Hua Ti again told them that Di-yun had killed Shui Dai, who was Shui Sheng's dad. So Shui Sheng, she defends Di-yun. She's saying, no, he's a good guy. Okay, but no one believes her. They also believe that she's in love with her father's killer. And then Wang Xiaofeng comes, that's her cousin and lover. He also doesn't believe her. Okay, and he fights with Di-yun. And Di-yun, like he doesn't realize his strength, and he accidentally throws Wang Xiaofeng into a wall. And he's just too strong now. Shui Sheng, she tries to help her cousin, but he just slaps her twice. And then the other people are coming, and she tells Di-yun to run away. So he does. He runs and hides, and he watches everyone until they leave. So everyone leaves. Shui Sheng leaves with her cousin, Wang Xiaofeng. And now Di-yun is left alone. And that's where we left off. How's that? Nom nom nom. So it looks like he's doing some work. He's working the fields. All right, chapter 9, Butterfly Lovers. Oh wait, renovation? Okay, maybe that. Alright. Di Yun stayed in the valley for another half month. He thoroughly practiced the saber techniques and internal energy cultivation methods inside the Blood Saber Sutra. When he had fully memorized it by heart, he burnt the scripture and placed the ashes on the Blood Saber Elder's tomb. During this time, he continued to sleep on a large rock outside the cave. Although Shui Sheng left, he still did not dare to sleep inside the cave, much less use her mattress or cushion. Di Yun thought, I should leave now. I do not need to take the feather coat with me. After I complete my affairs, I will return. The people in the outside are sure intelligent. I don't understand what they are thinking. No one will ever come here. It is best if I live here. Thereupon he left the valley and traveled east. The first thing he wanted to do was return to the cottage in Maxi, Xiangxi, to find his teacher. Since he was young and he was brought up by his teacher, he considered his teacher, or his master, as his only close relative in the world. To get to Xiangxi, he would first have to pass through Sichuan. He thought that if he were to encounter any heroes from the Central Plains, a battle would be unavoidable. Although he had never wronged them in any way, it all began when he shaved his head and wore Bao Xiang's monk outfit. Although at this point his martial arts were superb, he lacked the confidence and presumed that if he were to meet one or two experts from the Central Plains, he would certainly perish. Hence he bought and wore an ordinary outfit of a village person while he burnt the monk outfit. He further smeared his face with coal to disguise himself. The various commoners throughout Xiangxi and Sichuan liked to wear a white headband, supposedly a result of mourning for Zhuge Liang, who is some famous dude. He's a renowned Shu strategist during the Three Kingdoms period. He is very well respected to this day. Di Yun too found a piece of filthy white cloth and wrapped it around his head. He continued to travel east. Once in a while he would encounter a few fellows from the realm, but nobody could recognize him. He was most afraid of encountering Shui Sheng, Wang Xiaofeng, or Hua Tiegan. Fortunately, that never happened. He traveled quickly. It took him about a month or so to reach his teacher's cottage in Maxi. By now, the weather had turned warm. The grain and sprouts in the fields grew over 4 inches tall. The closer he got to his hometown, the more nervous he felt. Slowly, his face turned warm and his heart rate accelerated. He traveled a path that he had grown accustomed to in his youth. When he reached the entrance of his hometown, he could not help but feel shocked, as if he could not believe his own eyes. It turned out that beside the 3 cottages next to the willow trees, the streamlet had turned into a large house with white walls and a black roof. This house was the very least 3 times larger than the old cottage. From a glance, one could tell that it was built hastily, but it nevertheless imposed a magnificent aura. Di Yun must have had PTSD with the monks now. Yeah, I think so. Probably. He was both startled and delighted. He looked closer at the scenery and confirmed that it was indeed his teacher's residence. He thought, Master must have become rich and returned home. That is great. Full of delight, he shouted, Master! But he only called out once before he stopped, thinking, I wonder if there is anyone else in there. With the way I am dressed, I may make my master lose face, but I will go in first to have a look. After suffering so much hardship throughout the years, he had learned to take extra precautions. He was lost in thought when suddenly someone came out of the house and glared at him. His face was full of resentment and asked, What do you want? Di Yun saw that this man wore his hat at an angle, and his body was filled with dirt. It did not look like this person matched the owner of the house at all. Upon further inspection, Di Yun thought that this man must be a mason boss and asked, "May I ask if Master Chi is at home?" The man snorted and replied, "What seventh master or eighth master? They are not here." It's a pun on words. The word seven in Chinese is also pronounced Chi. So that person thought he was asking for the seventh teacher. Gotcha. Di Yud was startled and asked, "Is the owner of this house not surnamed Chi?" The man countered, "What are you talking about? If you are trying to beg for food, don't pretend to be a relative. There's nothing here, little beggar. Get lost." Di Yun was deeply concerned about his teacher. After traveling for such a long time, how could he leave solely based on this man's words? He asked, "I am not here for food. I would like to ask you, in the past there used to be a person surnamed Chi who lived here. Do you know if this elder still lives nearby?" The man laughed coldly. "Look at you, you little beggar. So talkative, are you? The owner is not surnamed Chi, nor is he surnamed 8, 9, or 10. You should take your leave now." As he spoke up to this point, another person came out from the house. This person wore a skull cap, and his clothes were fresh and bright. He had the appearance of a rich housekeeper. This person asked, "Old Ping, what are you shouting for? Who are you arguing with?" The man replied, "Look at this little beggar, and tell me if he's worthy or not. If he wants to beg for food, that's fine. Why does he have to ask for the owner's surname?" When the housekeeper heard this, his face changed colors, and he measured up Di Yun. After a while, he said, "Little friend, why do you seek the surname of the owner?" If this was 5 or 6 years ago, Di Yun would have gone straight to the heart of the matter. However, he was now experienced and understood the treachery of humankind. When he saw the expression of the housekeeper, full of suspicion, he thought, "I will not tell him. It won't hurt to inquire at a later date. It could be that there has been some misunderstanding." He asked, "I only wanted to ask for the surname of the owner, so that I can utter his name loudly and request him to spare me some rice. Are you the owner?" He intentionally pretended to be a fool to lower the housekeeper's suspicions. The housekeeper laughed heartily. Although he felt this person was foolish, he was delighted that someone would think of him as the owner. He smiled and said, "I am not the owner. Hey, young fellow, why would you think of me as the owner?" Di Yun answered, You impose the appearance of an awe-inspiring authority, the looks of a wealthy gentleman." The housekeeper was even more delighted and smiled. "Silly fellow, if I, old Gao, really becomes rich one day, I definitely won't forget you. Hey, little fellow, I can tell that you are young and vigorous. Why would you beg for food instead of finding a proper job?" Di Yun replied, "No one will hire me. Rich master, would you be kind enough to offer a job to me?" The housekeeper shook the one surnamed Ping on the shoulder and smiled. "Did you hear that? He called me a rich master. If we don't offer him a job, we would be much too rude. Old Ping, tell him to carry dirt and give him an according salary." The one surnamed Ping said, "Right. I will act according to your orders." Di Yun listened to the two of their dialects and concluded that the foreman, surnamed Ping, was a local of Xiangxi, but the housekeeper, surnamed Gao, was from the north. At once he collected his thoughts and respectfully said, rich master, I thank both of you." The foreman laughed and teased. "Damn it, you speak nonsense." Oh, wait. Yeah. The housekeeper was laughing so hard that he almost slipped and remarked, I am a rich master. You are also a rich master, then? Then haven't we become your sugar daddy? The four men pulled Diyun by the ear and smiled. Come inside. Have a good meal first. You will work during the night. Diyun did not resist, but wondered, why do I have to work at night? But he went inside the large house and passed through the main hall. He could not help but be startled. What he saw was extremely perplexing and out of place. In the center of the house, an extremely large hole was dug. The circumference was so big that it nearly stretched across the four walls. There was only a narrow passage left to pass through. The pit was filled with iron shovels and spades and other digging equipment. It was obvious that they were still digging. When he saw the grandiose of the house from the outside, how could he ever have guessed that there would be such a large pit inside? Oh, they're looking for the manual from his master? The foreman said, You cannot tell anyone outside what goes on in here, all right? Diyun nodded. Of course. This place must be blessed with good fortune. The owner wants to dig a tomb and doesn't want outsiders to know about it. The foreman grinned and said, Not bad. You are pretty smart for such a young fellow. Follow me to your meal. Did his master secretly have the manual? Well, that's what his sworn brother thought. Hmm. Do you call him a sworn brother? A sworn brother? Or like a fellow, like a sect brother? Di-Yun ate a full meal inside the kitchen. The foreman told him to wait by the corridor without wandering around. A martial brother? Okay, so you can't call him a sworn brother? Di-Yun agreed, but he was actually full of curiosity and suspicion. He saw that the interior design of the house was surprisingly ordinary, and the kitchen did not even have a proper place for a furnace. It only had a large furnace leaning against a boiler. The tables and benches were also of extremely low quality, and did not match the exterior of the house in the least bit. When it was nighttime, fewer people went inside the house. It all consisted of young and strong village people. Everyone was clamorous during meal times. Di-Yun followed the others and ate. Although he spoke the local dialect with extreme precision, the foreman and the housekeeper were not in the least suspicious, thinking that he was just a local idler without a job. After everyone finished their meal, Foreman Ping ordered everyone to gather round the main hall. You should all put more effort into digging. Hopefully, we will be blessed with good luck tonight. Whoever digs up anything useful will be rewarded generously. Everyone agreed and picked up their tools. The sounds of shovels and spades digging against the earth sound filled the room. One young man spoke softly. I have been digging for 2 months, but haven't got anything at all. If there is really a treasure here, you will have to be really fortunate to excavate it. Di-Yun thought, they want to dig for treasure? Why would there be a treasure in here? He waited for the foreman to turn away before asking a senior fellow beside him. Uncle, what treasure are they trying to dig for? The senior replied, This treasure is extraordinary. The owner of the house is hoping for good luck. He is not a local, but from afar he sensed the illumination of treasure gushing to the surface. He figured there must be a treasure here, so he bought this piece of land. He was afraid that this information would be leaked, so he first built a large house. and ordered us to work at night and sleep during the day. Sworn brothers are good friends that vow to have each other's back no matter what. Martial brothers are just people who learn from the same master. They don't have to be friends. Gotcha. Diyun nodded. So that's how it is. Does Senior know what kind of treasure this is? The Senior said, The foreman said that it is some sort of mythical treasure bowl. It is said that if you put one copper coin in the bowl, after one night it will turn into a pot of copper coins. If you place one tael of gold inside the bowl the next day, it will become a pot of gold. Is that remarkable or what? Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. Diyun nodded repeatedly and said, It really is a treasure. It really is a treasure. The senior continued, The foreman told us to dig gently. It would be a disaster if one were to break the treasure bowl. The foreman said that after we dig up the treasure bowl, everyone will get to use it for one night. You can place whatever you want inside it. Young fellow, you should plan for yourself too, and see what you would like to put. Diyun thought for a moment and said, I am always hungry. I will place a grain of rice, and it will become a pot of white rice the next day. Wouldn't that be great? The senior laughed heartily and answered, Very good, very good. The foreman heard the sounds of laughter and shouted, Don't waste time talking! Keep digging! Diyun wondered, There is actually such a treasure bowl in this world? If the owner is not crazy, he must have fabricated this story to deceive people. He asked, What is the surname of the owner? You said he is not a local. The senior replied, Look over there. Isn't the owner coming out right now? Diyun followed the direction of the man's gaze. He saw someone coming out from the back hall. This person was slim. His eyes glimmered lively. His apparel was extremely gorgeous. Who can it be? I think we know. This person was about 50 years old. Diyun glanced at him once and felt his heart bouncing around his chest. He turned his head and did not dare to look again. He repeated to himself, I've seen this person before. I've seen him before. Who is he? He felt that this person looked awfully familiar, but he could not immediately recall where he saw him. That person said, Everyone, tonight you should dig another 3 feet deep to the west. No matter if it is a scrap of paper or tiles and bricks, you must give them all to me. Diyun listened to his voice and came to a realization. At once he remembered. Right, so it is him. He lowered his head and looked askance at him and thought, Indeed, it really is him. The owner of the house was in fact the old beggar who taught him the 3 sword stances. Oh, okay. I was mistaken. I thought it was the master's martial brother. The rich one. Back then, the beggar was wearing extremely raggedy clothes with messy hair. His entire body was extremely filthy and sordid. Now, at this point, he was dressed as a luxurious rich man. His entire outfit was different. Hence, Diyun could not recognize him until the man spoke out. Oh. Okay. So it's the old beggar who's not an old beggar at all. So the old beggar was a bad dude? I still think he's the other martial brother. Yeah, not the rich one, but the other one. That they thought stole the manual? Yeah. At once, Di-Yun jumped out of the pit and wanted to reunite with him. However, to tell him of everything he suffered throughout all these years in a serious manner could not be spoken impulsively. He thought, "This old beggar treated me very well. Back then, I was already completely defeated by the bandit Lu Tong. It was thanks to him lending a hand. Later, he even taught me the 3 stances of remarkable sword techniques, which was why I managed to overcome the various disciples of the Wan clan. Now that I think of it, the 3 sword stances he taught me are really ordinary, but back then it was enough to save me from humiliation." Now that he had fully completed the various martial arts of the Blood Saber Sutra, his knowledge increased drastically. Even the 3 stances of Liangcheng swordplay that he learned back then were considered extremely mediocre. Also, I guess it means the beggar really did teach him the manual? Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, pretty much confirmed that he did. Di-Yun thought, "When I reunite with him today, I should really thank him. However, this is my master's old residence. What is he digging here for? Why did he build such a big house to deceive others? He used to be a beggar. How did he get so rich?" As he pondered further, he decided, "I should wait for another time. Although he is my benefactor, I am in no hurry to thank him. Isn't he afraid that my master will return? Could it be that my master is already dead?" He had been raised by his master since childhood. When he thought that it was likely his master had already passed away, his eyes turned red. All of a sudden, from the southeast direction, a soft sound was heard. One of the diggers had come across something. The owner ventured into the pit and bent down to pick something up. Everyone in the group stopped digging and went over to see what it was. All they saw was that he was holding a very rusted piece of iron nail. He looked at it carefully for a long while before casting it aside and said, "Get moving! Dig faster! Dig faster!" Di-Yun and the rest of the group spent the entire night digging. The owner concentrated his attention completely, supervising on the side, and it was not until daybreak before they stopped. The various villagers returned home. 7 or 8 of them lived too far away and opted to sleep on a mat in the east porch. Di-Yun also slept in the porch. When afternoon came, everyone ate together. Di-Yun was filthy all over, and nobody wanted to stay close to him. Even during dinner, they stayed far away from him. Di-Yun could not have asked for more. He had learned to be cautious and prudent. He would no longer trust anyone easily. However, he had to pretend to be a worker, and found it difficult. He knew that, as time passed, he would eventually give himself away. The fact that other people did not want to get close to him worked to his favor. After dinner, Di-Yun ventured into 3 small villages nearby to seek the whereabouts of his master. He saw several of his childhood friends who had now become thick and well-built adults working in the fields. He did not want to reveal his identity and did not greet them. He found a young teenager and asked him about the situation inside the large house. All right, time for a break. I'll be right back. 5 minutes. All right, we're back. Okay, so Di-Yun is asking a young teenager about what's going on. The teenager said that the house was built last autumn. The owner of the house was very rich and wanted to dig the treasure bowl. However, he still had no luck in doing so. The youngster laughed as he explained. It was evident that the case of the treasure bowl had become the laughingstock around nearby areas. The youngster said, What happened to the small cottages? Nobody has lived there for a long time. Naturally, when the large house was built, they took these cottages down. After talking to this youngster, Yun felt depressed and full of doubts and suspicions. He could not figure out the intent behind the old beggar's actions. He wandered aimlessly around the open fields and passed by a vegetable field. The entire field was covered in dark green. It was filled with water spinaches. Water spinach! Water spinach! All of a sudden, he remembered the crisp and melodious voice. That was my crisp and melodious voice, guys. That called out these words. Water spinach was a very common vegetable produced around Xiangxi. It grew very thick and long, and the stalk of the vegetable was hollow. His martial sister chose this nickname for him to mock his straightforward and carefree nature. He had not seen any water spinaches since leaving Xiangxi. He stared blankly for a long while before leaning over to pick one up. He smelled the juices of the vegetable and walked westward. The west side was covered with desolate mountain ranges. The surface was rugged and filled with rocks and rubble. Even wood oil trees and tea trees could not be grown. Somewhere in the mountain range was a cave that nobody would ever go into. That was the place that he and Qifeng would often play. He reminisced those days and slowly wandered toward the cave. He passed through 2 hills and passed by a large cave before he arrived at the smaller, desolate cave. There was a cluster of tall grass that reached up to his shoulders that obstructed the cave entrance completely. He felt depressed as he went inside the cave. He saw that the various objects around the cave were exactly the same as it used to be, without the slightest movement, only that it was covered in dust. Qifeng used clay to build a clay person and used it as a catapult to sling at birds. She also had a trap to capture wild rabbits. The short flute that she would play when she released the oxen was still placed on top of a rock inside the cave. On the other side was a basket of threads and needles. The scissors inside the basket was yellow and rusted. Ugh. During those years, every time winter came and the fields were closed, Diyun would always weave straw sandals or bamboo baskets. Qifeng would sit beside him and make shoes. She would find various fragments of cloth and make it together into the sole of the shoe, then seam it together with a needle. Diyun and his master's shoes both had dark green soles, while Qifeng's own shoes would sometimes have an embroidered flower on top, while other times it would be an embroidered bird. That was what she would wear during the New Year's. In ordinary times, she would also wear shoes with green soles. If she were to work in the fields, then she would just be barefoot. Diyun casually picked up an old book from inside the basket. The title of the book was the 4 words, The Tang Poem Anthology. Diyun and Qifeng were not very literate and did not bother reading the Tang poetry. The book was only used by Qifeng to press the shoes together and for embroidery. He casually opened the book and took out 2 paper patterns. It was a pair of butterflies that Qifeng cut out as embroidery. In his heart, he still remembered very clearly all the events that took place. A pair of large black and yellow butterflies would fly inside the cave. Sometimes it would fly east, while sometimes west, but the 2 butterflies were never separated. Qifeng yelled, Liang Shanbo, Chu Ying Tai. These butterflies must be a couple, and flew together wherever they went, never separating. Diyun was in the middle of making a straw sandal when the pair of butterflies flew next to him. He raised the unfinished sandal and swatted the butterfly. One of the butterflies died at once. Qifeng cried out in alarm and scolded, What? What are you doing? Diyun did not expect her to be so angry all of a sudden, and did not know what to do. He said, You You like butterflies. I swatted one for you. The butterfly dropped dead on the ground without moving, while the other butterfly constantly spiraled around its body. Okay. Qi Feng shouted, Look at what you've done! You have sinned! The two of them were a couple, yet you separated them like this. When Di Yun saw her dim expression and heard her depressed voice, he felt very apologetic and sighed. It is really my fault. Later on, Qi Feng copied the patterns on the dead butterfly and embroidered a paper butterfly on her shoes. Whenever it was Chinese New Year's, she would embroider a small wallet for him that had a pair of butterflies on it. Yellow and black wings, the part of the wing near its body, had a tint of red and green strings. He carried this wallet with him the whole time, until he went to prison in Jingzhou, when it was taken away by the guards. The story of Liang Shanbo and Zhu Yingtai are kind of like the Chinese version of Romeo and Juliet and Mulan. Gotcha. As Di Yun held onto the paper butterfly, he could faintly hear the sounds of Qi Feng reprimanding him. Look at what you've done. You have sinned. The two of them were a couple, yet you separated them like this. He stared blankly for a while placing the paper butterfly back inside the book. He turned the pages and found that there were various red paper figures. There was a carp and 3 goats. It was used to decorate the windows during Chinese New Year. It was all cut out by Qi Feng. He was about to take a closer look at one of the figures when he heard the sound of rocks being thrown several hundred feet away. Someone was approaching. He thought, Nobody ever comes here. Could it be a wild animal? He put the paper figure in his bosom. He heard someone say, This area is very desolate. No one will come here. Another old voice replied, Huh, the more desolate a place, the more likely someone will hide a treasure. We should search carefully. Di Yun thought, Why would they look for treasures here? He snuck out of the cave and hid behind a large tree. Shortly after, more people arrived at the scene. Di Yun made out that there were 7 or 8 people in total. He looked out from the tree and saw the person in front wore fresh and bright clothes. This person had an oily head and a powdery face and looked quite familiar. The person following behind him was holding an iron shovel. This person was tall, with an imposing appearance. When Di Yun saw this person, anger surged out of his heart, and he wanted to go out and strangle him to death. This person was the one who took away his marshal's sister and sent him to prison. This person was the one who caused him so much suffering. It was Wan Gui. What was he doing here? There was a young fellow beside him. It was his younger martial brother, Shen Cheng. The two of them approached together. Behind them were all the disciples of the Wan clan. Lulu Kun, Sun Jun, Bu Yuan, Wu Kang, and Feng Tang. They were all here. The Wan clan had 8 disciples in total. Second disciple, Chou Qi, was killed by Di Yun inside the abandoned garden in Qingzhou, so only 7 remained. Di Yun was very perplexed. What are they all trying to dig? Could it be the treasure bowl? He heard Shen Cheng say, Master, there is a cave over there. The old voice replied, Is that so? His voice was filled with joy that he could hardly suppress. This person followed behind a very tall person over there. It was 5 Cloud Hand Wan Zhenshan. Di Yun had not seen him for many years, but saw that he was full of spirit and his footsteps were firm. He did not look very old at all. Wan Zhenshan entered the cave first. Then his disciples followed behind. Voices were heard inside the cave. There is someone living here. The dust is so thick. Nobody has come here for many years. No, look. There are new footprints over there. Oh shit. There are new footprints. That means someone was here not too long ago. It must be Uncle Yan. He stole the Liancheng manual. Diyun was both startled and laughed. Why do they want to find the Liancheng manual? How come they can't find it after looking for so long? Who is Uncle Yan? My master said that his second martial brother, Yan Da-ping, had disappeared for many years without a trace. It's likely that he is no longer in this world. How could he steal the Liancheng manual? Those footprints were clearly left by me. They are guessing in the completely wrong direction. He heard Wang Jinshan say, Everyone, do not panic. Search carefully around the vicinity. Another said, If Uncle Yan was here, why didn't he take these things with him? That Qi Jiangfa is really a crafty schemer. He hid the sword manual here so that people wouldn't find it easily. Of course he is a crafty schemer. Else, why would he be called Iron Lock across the river? Wang Jinshan said, Just now we followed that country folk here. That person was extremely swift and disappeared quickly without a trace. That person may be up to something. Wan Gui said, The locals know the mountain paths well. He probably took a shortcut somewhere. If not for him, even if we searched for another year and a half, we still would not find this place. Diyun thought, So they actually followed me here. No wonder they were able to find such a remote cave in the mountains. Oh, Losh is telling the story of Liang Shanbo and Zhu Yingtai in the comments. He heard booming and roaring inside the cave. The people inside were searching thoroughly, but all they did was throw around a few pieces of ragged items and move their positions. Then followed that they used an iron shovel to start digging. But under the cave was completely filled with hard rocks. How could they dig? Wan Jinshan said, There's nothing here. Let's go out and come up with another plan. Diyun saw the various disciples follow Wan Jinshan out of the cave. They reached a creek beside the mountain and sat on top of a rock. Diyun did not want to be discovered, so he did not dare to get too close. He could not hear what the 8 of them were saying. After a while, the 8 of them got up and left. Diyun thought, They are looking for the Liancheng manual and suspect that my uncle Yan Da-ping has stolen it. My teacher's cottage has become a large house, and the old beggar wants to look for a treasure bowl. Ah, that's it. A ray of light flashed through his mind as he suddenly came to a startling conclusion. The old beggar is trying to find the treasure bowl, but he is actually trying to find the sword manual. He believes that the sword manual was taken by my master. That's why he is digging there. Because he wanted to prevent others from noticing, he built a large house in place of the cottage and dug inside the house to prevent suspicion. The rumors that he is digging for a treasure bowl are obviously fabricated by the country folk. Then he thought, that day when Wan Jinshan celebrated his birthday, the old beggar appeared both during the day and at night. It turns out that he actually had an ulterior motive. If Wan Jinshan and his group cannot find the sword manual, have they tried searching inside the large house? It is likely that they have already searched there. This incident is not over yet. I should go back to the house and wait to see what happens next. There is definitely something wrong. But what about my teacher? His house has been completely torn down by others. How could he be unaware of this? And what about my martial sister? she's probably still in Jingzhou, living a happy and prosperous life as the lady of the house. If the Wan family wants to search her father's cottage, they would most likely not let her know about it. I wonder what she's doing right now. At night, the large house was once again illuminated by oil lamps. Over a dozen country folk picked up their shovels and began digging. Di Yun mixed in with the crowd and began to dig as well. He did not put much effort into it, nor did he slack off. He wanted to be as unnoticed as possible. His hair was fluffy, and he did not shave his facial hair. Over half of his face was covered with hair, and he also smeared plaster around his face, so he was changed beyond recognition. He recalled when Wang Zhenshan and the others followed him during the day, and wondered if they actually recognized him. Thereupon he took the white headband and the green belt around his waist and swapped its positions. Tonight they were digging closer to the north. The old beggar put both hands behind his back and paced himself around the site. Obviously, he looked nothing like an old beggar now. His clothes were gorgeous, and he wore a jasper ring on his left hand. There was also a large piece of jade hanging on his belt. All of a sudden, Di Yun heard the sound of someone approaching from the outside. There were people approaching from all directions. As these people were still some distance away, the old beggar did not notice yet. Di Yun turned around and looked askance at the beggar. He heard the sounds of footsteps approaching closer and closer. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people in total. It was Wang Zhenshan and his 7 disciples. The old beggar still did not notice, but Di Yun had long listened attentively, as if the 8 of them were right in front of him. But it seemed as if the old beggar was deaf. 5 years ago, Di Yun respected the old beggar like a deity. He merely learned 3 stances from the beggar, and it was enough to utterly defeat the 8 disciples of the Wan clan without giving them any leeway. But now Di Yun thought, how could his martial arts have gotten so much worse? Could it be that this isn't actually him? Did I mistake him for someone else? No, I'm definitely not mistaken. Di Yun never would have guessed that his martial arts had reached such an extremely high level. What he heard as distinct sounds were merely whispers to others. The 8 of them got closer and closer. Di Yun was perplexed. The 8 of them are sure laughable. Who wouldn't be able to tell that they were coming? Yet they are still pretending to be sneaky and stealthy. The 8 of them got closer by another 100 feet or so, when all of a sudden the old beggar trembled slightly and slanted his ear to listen for any movement. Di Yun thought, now he hears it? Is he deaf or what? In truth, the 8 of them were still very far away. If it were 1 or 2 years ago, Di Yun still would not have heard it, even if they were closer. The 8 of them gradually approached. They would walk and stop every few steps. It was obvious that they were trying to prevent themselves from being discovered. However, the old beggar had already figured it out. He turned around and picked up a crutch leaning against the wall. It was an extremely thick dragonwood cane. All of a sudden, the 8 of them rushed forward and encircled the beggar on all sides. With a loud crash, Wan Gui was the first to strike, while Shen Cheng and Bu Yuan followed behind. The 7 of them all wielded longswords and surrounded the beggar. The old beggar laughed. Ha 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 ha. Very good, my martial brother is here too. Brother Wan, why don't you come in? A long sound of laughter came from outside the house as this person slowly walked in. It was indeed 5 Cloud Hand Wang Zhenshan. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. What is dragonwood? What is dragonwood? The 2 of them were on the opposite sides of the large pit and sized each other up. After a while, Wang Zhenshan laughed and said, ha 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 ha. Brother Yan, we have not seen each other for many years. It looks like you're a rich man now. These words deeply drilled itself into Di Yun's ears. At once he was thrown into a state of confusion. He thought, what? This old beggar is actually second uncle. Second uncle Yan Da Ping. Bum bum bum. That was a reveal. I don't have the reveal sound. I'm sorry. Dun dun dun. He heard the old beggar reply, Brother, I have made a little bit of money. I take it that you have completed many good trades throughout the years. Wan Zhenshen said, Thanks to your lucky influence. Hey, little brats, why haven't you kowtowed to your martial uncle? Lu Kun and the others kneeled down and said, Your disciple kowtows in salute to Uncle Yan. The old beggar laughed. Good, good. It is quite inconvenient to kowtow while holding a sword in hand. You may be excused. Di Yun thought, This person really is Uncle Yan. Him. Him? Wan Jinshan said, Brother, are you operating a coal mine here? Why did you dig such a large pit? Yan Da Ping chuckled and said, Elder brother has guessed wrong. Your younger brother, I have a lot of enemies. I am here to seek refuge. There are two purposes to digging this pit. Firstly, if I successfully kill my enemy, I can bury him here without having to dig. And supposing that your brother, I am killed by my enemies, this pit will also serve as my burial place. Wan Jinshan said, Excellent. Younger brother has really thought this through. But you are not a fat person. I think this pit is large enough. You don't have to keep digging. True. Yan Da Ping smiled gently and said, It is enough to bury one person, but I am afraid it won't be enough for 8. Ooh. Di Yun listened as the two of them crossed verbal swords, opposing each other measure for measure. He remembered what Ding Dian once told him. The three of them were responsible for killing their master. They are ruthless enough to kill their benefactor. What sort of camaraderie would they have for each other? According to Brother Ding, they found the Liancheng manual, but did not find the mnemonics. The mnemonics are a bunch of numbers. The first number is 4. The second number is 41. The third, 33. The fourth, 53. Brother Ding passed away before he finished saying all the numbers. Did they not already find these numbers? Why are they still searching? Wan Zhenshan said, My good martial brother, we have been in the same clan for many years. I trust that you know my intentions. I have long seen past your scheme. What is the use of beating around the bush? Hand it over! As he said this, he extended his hand forward. Yan Da Ping shook his head. I have not found it yet. The schemes of old Qi the Third, the two of us martial siblings cannot compare. I cannot figure out where he hid the sword manual. Di Yun trembled again. Could it be that the three of them combined forces to take the sword manual, but my master took it away from them? But after so many years, how come there wasn't any news? Right, it must be that my master is extremely clever. They could not find it. Since my master is not here, naturally he would take the sword manual with him. Why would he hide it inside the house? Wouldn't it be foolish to search around like this? However, he knew that Yan Da Ping and Wan Zhenshan were not idiots. They were probably 10 times smarter than he was. So what kind of scheme was hidden in this plot? He could not guess, and he knew he didn't have to. Alright. Good time to end it. Good time to end it for today, guys. So now we know the beggar is the other brother. Ah. Ah ha ha ha. Okay. These three brothers are bad news, right? They're all bad people. I think that's what that's what the story is showing us. Yeah, his master is not a good dude. Even taught him the wrong moves, the wrong martial arts. Apparently his master taught him some BS martial arts. Whoa, Sal, you're right. You did make it to the end of a stream. Good job. You're excited for next week? Yeah. Things are getting suspenseful. Lady Koi, was it you who guessed it? I thought we all did. I thought I guessed it. Unless I'm mistaken. Didn't I think? I think I had two possibilities. The beggar could be the other brother, or he could have been the master. But I think after Ding Dian told us that the master died, yeah, then he must have been the other brother. All right. Some of us were busy grieving for the cow. Technically, okay, we don't know that the cow died. They never said it. Okay, they just sold the cow. Maybe the cow is still alive. Maybe we'll see the cow at the end of the story. How about that? He'll come back. It'll be a nice reunion. We're back in their hometown. How about a toast? I don't have a drink right now. I have this. Cheers, guys. I'm hoping the cow comes back. It'll be cool. I'm out of liquor. I'm not. I'm just too lazy. All right. Yeah, so the two Marshall brothers meet. I'm excited to see what happens. Okay. How powerful is Yan Daping? And it seems like Yan Daping also doesn't have the manual. It seems? No, wait. He taught him. Oh yeah, he does have the manual. Yeah. Because Yan Daping taught Di Yun some moves from the Liancheng manual. So he must have it, right? Yeah, he just doesn't have the mnemonics. Thanks for being your Xmas present. Yeah. They all have they all have the Liancheng manual. Like as in they all know the moves, I guess. But they don't have the mnemonics. Yeah, that's what they're looking for. So I guess the manual has they think the mnemonics are in the manual. Some type of book. All you want for Christmas? I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. I've been hearing that a lot. So is that Is that the latest Christmas classic song that we've had? Is there an even later one? How does one get to be a Christmas song? How does it work? Does it have to be sung by Mariah Carey? Is there an application? How does it work? It has to sound jingly. I'm sure there's like a million songs every year. Yeah. What is the last Christmas song? It must be that one, right? You have to submit the song before Thanksgiving. The same way Die Hard became a Christmas movie. A lot of love for it. Okay. Would love to hear me sing Santa Baby. Well, should have caught me with a word. Oh, too bad. Favorite Christmas movie? Oh. Favorite Christmas movie? I don't even like Christmas movies. I guess it has to be Home Alone, right? That's pretty much a classic. I love that movie as a kid. I'm not that into the Die Hard movies. What's another one? Oh, there's the Santa Claus by starring Tim Allen, I think. Yeah. No, I think Home Alone beats that one. Instant classic, Home Alone. Did you guys? Oh, you guys remember? Okay, that house is huge. The house in Home Alone. Oh my god, how rich was his dad? Let's see. Kevin's dad was in the mafia. Yeah, we never knew what Kevin's dad was doing. Home Alone house address. I want the one in the movie. House in movie? Look at that. What the? What the hell? Kevin's dad. Jesus Christ. His mom is also a fashion designer. Bold of me to assume that only the dad worked. Well, you're right. I am being misogynist. Maybe mom worked too. Maybe his mom's house. How big is this house? Is that true? He had 9 kids? Wait, really? How many? Wait, how do I know? How many siblings did Kevin in Home Alone have? No. Wait. No, there's a whole family tree. Yeah, I thought it was like a big family. Fuck. No, Kevin only had 4 other siblings. The others were like from aunts and uncles, I guess. That movie had so many good lines. You know what I like about that movie? Um, the robber. What is his name? Home Alone cast. Yeah, Joe Pesci. Oh my god. It's such a silly role. Because I usually associate him with mob movies. Okay. Yeah, where he's like a dangerous guy, goes around killing people. But in here he's like acting all silly and shit. It's so funny. Just to see him in another role. That's still 5 kids though? True. Alright. Yeah. So Macaulay Culkin is no longer making movies, right? I think he's kind of fallen off the map. But you know this guy? His brother? He's still making movies. He's in Succession. Oh, if you guys want to watch a really good series, Succession is amazing. Amazing. I think there's a new season I haven't watched. But yeah. And this guy, Kieran Culkin in it is so good. He's such a hateful character, but he's so good. Okay. Oh, I don't know what we're talking about here. I think we're good. I think we're done, guys. Merry Christmas. Alright. Thanks for joining me. I hope you come back for next week where we see what happens when the 2 Marshall brothers meet. Joe is actually a pretty amazing guy. Yeah, I'm sure. Alright, guys. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye!